Hope you enjoyed that little video that I just played. It was filmed with the Autel Nano Plus drone, the under 250 gram main drone that Autel released at the beginning of the year, and it kind of ushered in the modern generation of mini drones with much improved cameras from earlier models. I'm specifically speaking about the DJI Mini 1, Mini 2, and of course. Our good friends at Hubsan have the Hubsan Mini Pro in there, which also had a lot of advanced cameras and features too. But that was one still, I think, a little buggy to this day. It's also available as a exo drone. But I hope you like this footage. I'll give you the setup here. It was kind of taken in low light. It was maybe about started flying maybe about a half hour before sunset, and also clouds were rolling in at the same time that the sun was going down. So it was a little darker than even should have been for that time. But of course, this drone, it's kind of the feature it hangs its hat on. It has very good performance in low light and even nighttime footage. So this is right up this drone's alley, according to most of the people that have it and the experts out there, or both. So luckily I had it with me that day. It's the only drone I had with me, so that's why it went up. And I had my settings on, complete manual. My good friend Ross, he tells me that it works best at just using JPEG or using a regular color profile, not going to log profile. And I had on MPEG 4 and .264. Again, people keep saying that the simple settings are the best for the drone, so that's what it was on. I didn't change iOS or exposure or anything. It was just kind of all on auto there, no HDR. So that's kind of the camera setups here, and I thought there was a lot to like in these images. The colors look great, especially the sun setting kind of behind his clouds created some interesting colors here. Now I do want to mention this drone is it's an 8-bit drone. It's not a 10-bit drone like say the Mini 3 Pro. But again, I don't know if that makes any difference unless you're in log, when you're doing editing yourself. But it's an 8-bit drone. But again, colors are really good. It did well in low light, and when I had the drone faced away from the setting sun, where you get the better light, it looked really good too down the beach, the blue skies and in the distance, even though blue going to dark skies. But, I thought the video looked really nice. Again, no editing was done to this whatsoever. I didn't adjust anything as far as color or saturation or contrast or anything like that, exposure. It's straight off the memory card of the drone. So, but here, I guess here's where I'm getting here. Again, I know this is, it's supposed to be the best one in low light and nighttime, whatever. But, I'm not so sure. Even though, again, the video is very impressive, very good, but I'm not sure it would have been any better than if I'd have flown the recent drones from DJI, like like the Mini 2, Mini 3 Pro or the Mavic 3. In my opinion, I think they would have just, they've been the same ballpark as far as low light performance here. Now this has, a little kind of different color profile than the DJI drones. This tends to saturate the colors a little bit more, which again, that's what you're looking for. That's a good thing there. And they have a little bit more kind of magenta in the color profile, where DJI tends to be more towards the green side of that color curve there, in my humble opinion again. And this, the video out of this is kind of a little bit sharper than the DJI drones out. So I mean, this is really kind of a punchy, look here, whether that's your thing or not. I mean, the DJI is a little, more subtle. Maybe the color's a little bit truer or whatever. well, truer as compared to most other cameras than the little Nano is. But yeah, so again, that's my takeaway here. That I'm not sure that's all that much superior to the recent releases from DJI, or even I'm not even sure it's that much superior than the Evo 2 Pro, which is over a €2 drone. Is at this point in low light. Again, it's good. I mean, I really like it. It's it's great to have a little drone like that that's so good in low light. I mean, the only negative I can say on this flight is, and I kind of say it every time I fly the Autel. I mean, I know it's not particularly good flying in winds. But I live at the shore, and almost every time I want to fly it, the wind's blowing. So I mean, like, if I wait for that day where it's not windy at all, the thing will never get flown. So I didn't take this very far away from me. I never got more than a couple 100 feet away from me, because I didn't really need to. I mean, I was just catching the sunset in the distance. I didn't really need to fly a mile away. But at one point, I was trying to back it up to get like a water shot, and I kind of went over the water, and I think the wind was coming out of the south and the east, and I tried to bring it back. I kind of put up high. I had it maybe over 200 feet because I was trying to see over the building that was in there, and I was trying to bring it back to me. And at first, it wasn't moving at all, and I was flying in normal mode the whole flight until this point. So I did push it over to ludicrous, and it started moving like less than 1 mile per hour back to me. Believe me, it's only a couple 100 feet away, but I'm still thinking, man, am I going to get this drone back? So then I lowered the altitude, moved a little bit more. I got it like, under 100 feet, down to, under 75 feet. Finally, it started coming back to me at a couple miles per hour. And I got it back over the beach, over my head again. But, almost every time I fly this darn thing, I get in that situation where, I just can't fly it back against the wind. And again, I know this, so I don't take it real far away from me. Like, I won't fly it. I know what way the wind's blowing by the time I take the drone off, so I will not fly it in a situation where it has to come back a long distance, fighting the wind, because I know that it may not make it. And people tell me, to turn obstacle avoidance off, and I do that by putting it in ludicrous mode. When you turn the ludicrous mode, it automatically turns your obstacle avoidance off. Speaking of obstacle avoidance, lots of times when I face the drone towards the sun, it thinks the sun is an obstacle, and I get the beeping. And even with that muted sun behind all these clouds, I still, not as bad as usual, but I still got the obstacle avoidance worrying that there was something in front of it where all it was looking at the sun. So again, minor point there, but and other people tell me that they don't have as much trouble flying in the wind as I do. So I don't know if my unit's defective in some way that it won't fly. If I'm flying it with all on a still day with almost no wind, thing flies around really great. I mean, I like the flight performance of it. Except when it's trying to fly into a headwind. And this day, the shore, I didn't do the screen grab or whatever, but you always use the UAV forecast to check my weather conditions, and it did not tell me that it was not to fly. I think the sustained winds were around 10, and the gusting winds were between 15 and 20. So it was not telling me not to fly in the winds. And again, not trying to be a fanboy here, but if I'd have had the Mini 3 out, in that same type of wind conditions, I wouldn't have much trouble, maneuvering around. So just keep that in mind, when you purchase a mini drone, that how much is fighting the wind important to you. Now this guy here kind of flies, if you're a DJI person, it flies more like the Mini 1 than it does either the Mini 2 or the Mini 3 as far as wind performance. Again, flies fine, without taking wind out of the factor, flies around real nice. Yeah, it's one of those things I just I just don't trust it out there in the wind. Though again, and I got some nice photos from the same session too. I'm going to publish the photos eventually too. Again, I just did what my good friend Ross Langdon told me. I just shoot JPEG and and he even edited JPEG, and I will edit them too, but not in the video. I want you to see the the originals in any type of video I'm showing. But for my own purposes, I'll take them in Lightroom just edit the JPEG, lightly edit the JPEGs because they came out good in the camera. What I do is, I'd up the I guess the shadows a little bit because you can see it even in the video here, like, when I'm aiming it towards the sun or whatever, it's kind of crushing the shadows and the blacks or whatever. And, to be fair, the same thing would happen if you were using the Mini 3. You would get some of the blacks would crush in that same situation, or even the Mavic 3 for that case. But anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this, short flight of the Autel Nano Plus and did a little low light testing here. So we will be back with plenty more videos on the Nano, the Mini 3, all the Mavic 3, all the recent camera birds that are out here. So again, that's it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not already a member. Hit that thumbs up button. Ring the notification bell. And, if you want to help me out, hit that thanks button. Leave it as little as $1.99 or more. Contribute to the channel to help keep the lights on around here, keep products flowing in for review. Okay, see you in the next one, folks.